With a population of about 36 million people, the Southeast is awash with stories. Every day on Southeast News, we tell the peculiar story of the Southeast and her people.
Our Southeast should be the Silicon Valley of Nigeria.
Their successes, achievements, and daily challenges. Do you have a Southeast story to share? Community achievements and challenges, completed and uncompleted projects, bad roads, water scarcity, erosion, flooding, insecurity, or even disagreements? Bring it on to Southeast News. On Southeast News, no story is too big or too small. Southeast News. Let's tell our story. Showing on Signature TV every weekday at 4 p.m. WAT, 1600 hours GMT.
Welcome back. We're still on the success of the Falcons in African football. Joining us again via Zoom this morning is Sil Dumwite. He is the sports analyst. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
I appreciate this is my debut on the show, and it's nice to be here.
It's nice to have you here as well. Now, just before we go into, the Super Falcons and their victory, just a few moments ago, we gave a tribute to late Christian Chukwu, who, was a veteran footballer and one of the pioneer footballers that paved the way, for the football in the football world. So what do you have to say about his passing, and just a word or two about the tribute just before we go into the Super Falcons?
Well, I think my heart first of all goes out to the family and of course the people of Nigeria over the loss of Chairman Christian Chukwu. Chairman Christian Chukwu, of course, everybody know him to be one man who was so dedicated to the game, not just because he was captain of the side, but he had that aura to carry the team along. I remember Christian Chukwu way back in his days with Rangers International, and especially for the Bulls. It was like a rallying point for him to be captain of Rangers then after the Civil War, and the Rangers won a lot of trophies and made Enugu very prominent, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa and of course the rest of the world. And he took that to the national team. And as chairman, they call him chairman. That chairman was like an appellation of his contribution to football generally. He captain of the national team. He won the very first Cup of Nations way back in 1980 for Nigeria and continued like that. He may not have played professional football outside of Nigeria, but he was a legendary football player for Nigeria that is known and recognized all over the world. So it is one of those things. He is no longer with us, but his mark he has made will live with us for forever, because he really paid his dues while he was here on Mother Earth.
All right, now let's look at the Super Falcons victory. Now, how does that victory make you feel? I'm sure you watched the match and you saw, how the ladies won. So how was that like for you?
Well, for me, it was such a blissful moment, especially the way they beat their counterparts, the host nation, Morocco. They came down from a 2-0 defeat. That was goal in the first half, and they scored 2, and they scored the winning goal with just about 2 minutes left on the clock to play. And that, for me, shows a lot. It shows determination. It shows courage, in spite of the nearly 60,000 fans that were inside of that stadium in the Atlantic Stadium in Morocco. They were able to overcome, and I think that's the typical spirit of the Nigerian. You want to strive even in the midst of difficulties, and the Super Falcons did overcome their hosts and won their 10th title. It doesn't come easy. The Nations Cup for women has been played like 13 times now, and the Super Falcons, the national team of Nigeria, has won it 10 times. That's remarkable. So barely 3 other editions have been shared by the rest of the African countries. So that shows to any onlooker the strength of Nigeria, the spirit of Nigeria, and in spite of the difficult conditions we live now, so to say, we can still bring home laurels to our motherland, Nigeria. So I think it's only good. And if you look at it, they've been rewarded by the president, and it's never happened like that before. And I'm very sure the amount of reward given to the team has to do with the significance of this victory, to Nigeria or to the government of the day, because it wasn't easy. They were able to win all their games, up till the final. They didn't concede a goal from open play up till the final. So there's a lot of panache, around this victory, and I think that's why the federal government rewarded them the way it has never been before. We've never seen this kind of massive rewards given to the team. Over 150 million naira each to the 24 players that are part of the team. And yes, we've seen Christian Chukwu and his teammates being rewarded with accommodation, by government, but I'm not sure the amount of money that was given to them is anything close by what we have seen in the last few hours given by the federal government, 150 million plus, to each player. And of course, yes, during Christian Chukwu's era, there was the member of the Order of Niger National Award given to the team. But for this victory, because of what it means to the government of the day, they have improved on it and given them the Order of the Niger, which is an higher level of our national award given to players. So I think this is good, and this is just the beginning. There are more to come, because I'm sure some state governments will join in this one, and of course, appreciate the girls and business community as well. So I think this victory means a lot to Nigeria, both from the commercial point of view, from the point. Look at what it means to the young people of Nigeria, young girls. They will now want to play football, and so there are talents that are banned, over 200 million of us. They definitely will have go out to fishing it as well. Then, and technically, I can tell you that the coaches as well know that something is in it for them. We've seen a coach that was working under an expatriate coach before, from the under 18, under 20, under 23 category, up to the national team. Now he's been working as an assistant, with extra coaches. But now he stepped up with just about a month to the competition, and he has shown that yes, a Nigerian coach can win, a major football trophy for Nigeria. So I think this is a major statement for Nigerian coaches as well. They have to improve on themselves, but they have demonstrated that yes, a Nigerian coach can win a major laurel and a title for the country. So technically, it is an improvement on what we've known for, and I'm sure the Nigerian Football Federation will be very proud of Justin Madugu, the coach of the team that has won the 10th title for Nigeria. So it means a lot to a lot of
exactly.
people.
Now you've already mentioned the gifts given by the presidency to the ladies, and you also mentioned the rewards that were given during Christian Chukwu's time as well. So can you do like a sort of comparison for us, how the kind of rewards or support that was given to the likes of Christian Chukwu and the ones that are given to those who are on ground now, like these ladies who just won the WAFCON finals?
Well, it's simple to say that yes, reward is reward. At the time Christian Chukwu won the Nations Cup in 1980, they were given this member of Order of Niger, which was I think that is the fourth category of a national award. Way back 1980, roll it now to 2025. There has been a massive improvement. Now we have the second order, which is the Order of the Niger. Yes, prestigious, no doubt about it. In 1980, they were given accommodation. That accommodation, what was not physically given to them, it was announced, but it was not physically given to them until just very few years ago, when they had the benefit of having such, So, but now I hope this administration would immediately follow up the announcement with physically giving the cash, giving the not just the cash, giving the houses, to these Super Falcons players that have won. And of course, like I mentioned again, in 1980, the amount given to them was not anything compared to 150 million naira. So it depends on the times, but what most of us as analysts or football followers in the country will be looking at is it at us when due? They have won, they've played their own part. So if you are rewarding them, they must take it. I'm sure during the Christian Chukwu's era, these announcements were made. But most of the players that won that 1980 Cup of Nations died even before the houses would be get to them or to their family. They should have this, these accolades and these rewards, physical cash and properties, now that they are alive to enjoy, not when they die. Christian Chuku barely had few years to enjoy what he was given. There were some of his colleagues that died that did not, enjoy or receive any of the benefits that they were given. So I think comparing, I should think that the government of the day should ensure that these rewards get to these footballers now that they are alive to enjoy it and not when they are late. But the times really differ, and I just hope that we will learn from the past.
All right. Now, you've also mentioned that this win, is a big one for the country. But I also like to know, looking on the larger scale of Africa as a whole. Now, how significant would you say that this title, this 10th title, is when it comes to African women's football history?
Well, I think there's a lot to learn on the continent of Africa. On the continent of Africa, we still have teams, that are being populated by women who play professional football, outside of Nigeria. They are the ones who make the impact. If you look at the Nigerian team, it was mostly populated by football players that are off the shores of Nigeria. It happened too with the other teams, Moroccan team, the South African team, and I think the Zambian team as well. We need to discover more of these players who play professional football abroad and condition them. What I mean by conditioning is ensure that they play in competitions or in leagues that are competitive enough. Africa is such a large continent with about 52 members federation. They should be in a position to have a very competitive league that throws up a lot of money as to winning the titles, so that it becomes attractive to these young ladies to make a profession out of playing football. You see that these girls, yes, the talent, and few of them are shot by scouts and taken to outside of the shores of Africa to hone their skills. So I believe if Africa uses this Nigerian example now as an instance, as okay, well, let's we have won at this level. They have gotten $1 million US for their effort. Then they should inject that money back into the league so that more of African young girls can be discovered, for top level football. If we don't do that, then the essence of the winning will be lost on us. Again, yes, I'm not trying to discriminate, but again, an African coach has won a major laurel, as opposed to their foreign counterparts. So it means that the African coaches or technical men can be at the top level if they are properly conditioned. Like I mentioned, Justin Madugu, the coach of Nigeria, worked under expatriate coaches from a junior category level up till the Super Falcons of Nigeria. So I think if the Nigerian coaches are trained and retrained under proper, technical setting, they can be even foreign coaches to you can say an African coach, maybe coach a European team or even a European national team. We have the quality, but we need training, and that's exactly what the Nigerian win has demonstrated, that a coach that's been properly trained under, say foreign or even proper technical hands can arise and come to the stage where he will win a title. And that's a coach. There are other assistant coaches. There are other technical men that work for the success of a team. We must concentrate on that as well. We do not need to belittle ourselves and think that we have to be looking up to somebody. This has Nigeria's success at this Cup of Nations has demonstrated that Africa can be in the mix of things. We want to export our players, just like we send few of our players to Europe. We want to see a situation where the coaches or the technical men can go to Europe as well and make a mark. But overall, what I want us to learn from this is that the talents are bound in Africa, but we need to properly train them. There need to be seminars. There need to be a competitive league. We need to inject more funds. Congratulations, I say thanks to the CAF president Mosepe, who has brought in a lot of innovations and injected money into. He has made football business. This competition in the past used to have barely about $450,000 US for the winners, but now we have 1 million, and I think there is opportunity for further improvement as well. More cash invested into female football. It will, ensure that a lot of our girls, have a lot to look forward to and are properly empowered as well. Imagine what it means to a girl, from maybe Enugu that has 152 million or even more, coming nearly 200 million as entitlement for winning a trophy that was barely about a period of 2 weeks. That will empower her community. That will empower her family. Yeah, that will bring a lot, to our state as well. So I think we must begin to look consciously as a government. Take this Nigerians victory. So, okay, we have won now. What are the benefits of this winning? It costs with empowerment, for the girl child and a lot. So I think there's a
Yeah.
lot to get off
So
it. So
speaking of coaches, now you've mentioned that of course the coach now, Justice Madogu, has obviously done well by leading these women to the success of the finals, and also mentioning that we don't need foreign coaches to come, but we find that most people think that our African coaches or our Nigerian coaches do not have the technical know-how and are not competent enough to lead the girls to the global scene. So what do you think about that?
sincerely, it's straight. We need training. We need a lot of technical training. Even the foreign coaches, they didn't just become top coaches. They went through training. And if an African can go through the same training which they have gone through, they can be top level. That's, like I said, it's been demonstrated by Justin's winning. Justin is a local coach here, but he's gone through training. Like I said, he's coached the teams from under 18, under 20, under 23, and now the senior national team of Nigeria. And so he's gone through regimen. In my words, he's been properly conditioned for the success at the top. And if we have more coaches go through this technical training, the Football Federation must organize seminars, and send them abroad as well, to learn other top coaches. It will happen. If you look at it in the women's in Europe just finished their tournament just about the same time with Nigeria. And you see that there is a certain Warinam, the coach of the English national team. She's done so well. You need to tap from her. We need to send, our coaches to have an understudy under such quality coaches and have some kind of bilateral arrangement where we can often take our coaches across and they learn for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months or thereabout and come back. Coaches don't just you don't just wake up. They need to go through and have the necessary CAF, A, B, C licenses, and of course be attached to some of these top female teams as well. I'm sure we have the IQ to excel at the top. It's been demonstrated by Justin Madugu, but there should be a conscious effort. These coaches won't train themselves, even where they have the money. They need to have a program where they will have to enroll. It's like a school. You have to go through the school before you can, emerge as the top. So I think the Nigerian Football Federation should, as a matter of priority, ensure that coaches are fished and pass through necessary seminars, courses that will bring them to the top.
All right, now just very quickly before we go, because we're running out of time. Looking at WAFCON from its inception up until now, how would you assess, the growth and the change when it comes to the performance of the ladies in the team?
Well, I think it's been wonderful. The growth has been phenomenal. We've seen that, like I said, this is the 13th edition of the competition. And in a situation where more females Nigeria is finding it a bit difficult to win.
Mr. Cyril, yes, are you still there?
Because of the abundance of I'm here.
All right, please go on.
Oh yeah, so I think we need to, as a continent, ensure that the competition stays like I mentioned, the CAF president has injected more funds. So that's a conscious effort as a source of attraction for these ladies to be part of it. They have to improve on the refereeing. We've seen officials at this tournament; they were excellent. There was little or no complaint. So it means that there has been a conscious effort to improve on the officials training that are part of this tournament. So I think commercially, this tournament it will become more attractive and viable with the way the Confederation of African Football is running it. And it should trickle down to the respective federations. Like I mentioned to you, we have about 52 football federations in Africa. Those federations must emulate what is happening. If you look at it in Nigeria here, there's a little bit of a conscious effort, but I think they should do more in trying to develop the league, the Nigerian Women football league here, the Premier Football League for women here in Nigeria. We still need to see that the conditions which these girls play improve from their respective club sites. And the same thing in Africa. If you look at it, in South Africa, there's a very fast growth of female football because of the infrastructures that are being put in place and organizations that are being put in place in South Africa. So apart from South Africa, Morocco, Nigeria, and maybe now an emerging Zambia, we want to see that across the other 52 member country federation of football here in Africa. They must do something the way what Nigeria is doing. They must do what South Africa is doing. They must do what Morocco is doing. If you look at it, Morocco is investing so much in facilities and infrastructure. And when these facilities and infrastructure are in place, put together by the government, the talents, the young girls will want to take advantage of it, and they throw themselves up to top level. We have African girls who have been in strong position. If you look at a girl like Messi Akide, she used to be the top goal scorer for Nigeria. She now is a FIFA ambassador. And so you can imagine a girl from a local community in River State now as a FIFA ambassador, a female. That's great, and it has to do with the kind of training and that's the processes she has passed through. We want to see more of that, involved. And if we have more African ladies involved in administration of football, then it will drop off on the continent. So I think that is what we need. It has to be a conscious effort from the organizers of football across Africa to developing and catching more young talent. Female talents in football are abound. There are so many. We just need to tap them.
All right. Thank you so much, Cyril Dumite, for your time and this wonderful conversation. Really appreciate.
It's my pleasure to debut on this show, and I hope that there'll be more time. The best they say is yet to come.
Of course, it is. Thank you and have a nice day.
You too. Bye.
We are local.
International communities observing just finished taking why the main market is in chaos. People
We are national.
Those in support of this motion as amended say aye. Aye.
We have taken the vote by default.
We are international.
Israeli airstrikes.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment.
Signature TV News.